Welcome into my PPL training series, where I'll be showing you my first push, pull and leg day of my double PPL split. I am training 2 days on, 1 day off, so it is a 9 to 10 day rotation cycle and not a weekly training cycle. As an advanced bodybuilder, I will be showing you everything I need to keep training and keep improving at my highest level, and everything will be compiled into my new PPL training ebook, where I will showing you everything you need to know about PPL, and you will have a link in the bio for the pre-order. I'm beginning with Bulgarian split squat. The main reason is that I feel comfortable on it and I can go heavy on it, pain-free, which is what you want as an advanced bodybuilder. I'm going to do squat after, and I'm not going to go as hard as I possibly can on the squat because I already had knee issues because of it, and it is not as required of me anymore regarding my leg work to really focus on the squat, especially when I have this option. So I'm doing the Bulgarian split squat on the Smith for the stabilization and the safety aspect, and that way I'm able to be much more intense. And by intense, I mean heavy weight and pushing way closer to failure, which is always an issue with leg training because there is so many factors to take in account. I know there is a lot of misconception regarding how to set up for a Bulgarian split squat, especially when you're doing it in the Smith machine. It's quite simple. When you set up, you will want to have a pretty straight apart leg in front, and your goal is going to not go down vertically like that, but diagonally, so down and back, that way. Your back leg can be used as a checkpoint. If your knee is touching the floor, which is more than enough regarding the range of motion, and you're probably going too low because it's not needed. Now, the height of the bench is, of course, depending on your gym, so it will depend on the model and everything, and also of your own height and average height. So this is quite deep already for me, because you can see here, I am onto a parallel height. So afterward, when you go up, it's the reverse. You're not going just up, you're going up and forward, like that. And then, regarding the focus, the more you have knee flexion here, the more it will be quad, and the more flexion you will have at the hip, so here, the more it will be for the glutes. So this, like this, would be pretty glute focus because my shin here is quite vertical and I have a lot of flexion right there into the glute, like that. And if I was to do for quad, I would go right here and I would do this. So you can see there is a lot more knee flexion right there. I'm a bit more upright, and even though there is still some hip flexion right there, the main focus is there because to get up I'm going to have to extend the knee like this. And an in-between, which is what I'm doing, because I'm not trying to focus more one than the other, is simply to go like right in the middle, like that, and just like that. Aye. Oi, out. Aye. I'm too old for this shit. Okay, so now I'm going into squats. Still in the Smith, because for me it is a perfect way to work very thoroughly the quads without too much involvement with posterior chain, which is not what is happening when I'm doing free weight squat. When I'm doing free weight squat, back squat, I take everything in the ass, and it tires out a lot my lower back. My cameraman is not serious. I'm going into a Smith, that way I am much more upright compared to a resistance, and I am able to shift more of the weight on the quads. But I'm cutting right now, and even though it's better, it's still not the best. So what I'm doing to avoid plateauing is to switch the position of the bar. So normally I do I bar right there, which is what I recommend for everyone. So a very quick way for me to just have more room for growth and progression again is simply to go on mid bar, right there. This is not low bar. Low bar would be somewhere around here, maybe even here. I'm just here instead of being here. And this 2-3 centimeter lower allows me to be in a much more comfortable position for my lengthy build, and I'm not reducing range of motion, I'm not bent over under the weight, but it is much more comfortable, and I have a little more assist from my glutes, which can help me kick in the weight when I'm deep in the bottom for the quads. Like that. Every goddamn time. So along with the hip thrust that I'm doing for the same reason as always, a pretty cheap way to strengthen the posterior chain, I'm supersetting it with reverse Nordic. So for hip thrust, I'm doing it because I want a pretty stress-free way to work on my glutes, which are paramount for longevity and athleticism, and also to relieve back pain, which I've had a few problems prior in my first years of training, and which is not a problem anymore. So I'm cycling between hip thrust, back extension, and deadlift variation. And as for the reverse Nordic, two reasons. First one, the leg extension pad is bent, and I hate it. So I can't do a leg extension right now, like I used to in this gym. Second, I've had a knee surgery, that one. And doing reverse Nordic kind of pull back stuff in the right alignment or something, I don't know. But each time I do them, I feel stuff popping and moving in my knee, and it feels great. And third, it is a very, very good way to work on your teardrop and kind of prehab aspect for the knee, because you're strengthening the tendon, the ligament, the VMO, the vastus medialis, and you're also stretching the rectus femoris. So if you cannot do leg extension, or you do not want to do all the time leg extension as quad isolation, this is a great way to have a unique stimulus compared to usual quad isolation movement. So I'm finishing up with a 3-set adductor, abductor on this machine, and back extension. So back extension is just a strengthening and bulletproofing exercise of the posterior chain, and the goal is just to strengthen low back, glutes, and hamstring. Hamstrings that have not worked that much during this session. It's actually on my other leg day where I worked more fully. For the seated abduction, it's just a cool way to squeeze in more glutes work and to also have more medius glutes, so like the upper shelf glute work focused, which is the key thing that you want to have when you're trying to protect your back, or at least having strong glutes that will help it during your deadlift and your squat just be more secure. And as for this, which is the adductor, it is a cool way to prevent any kind of tear or strain to the adductor, which are heavily targeted by squats, pre-squat and deadlift, especially if you have a pretty wide stem. And also as bodybuilder, when you want to have a biggest muscle, if you want to have a biggest thighs, will work your quad, will work your hamstring, but you also have to work your adductor. And the adductor are actually quite thick muscle, and any kind of guys that you will see with very huge lower body will have huge adductor.
What are you doing here?
I am stretching my spine. I'm decompressing the spine, the hip, the knees, and I'm allowing the blood and all the fluids that got in the lower body from the training to get flushed up, back up, where it's supposed to be, around the guts basically. And it will also boost the recovery, because that's also, technically speaking, using gravity to speed up the waste management of the body, like lactic acid, electrolyte and stuff like that. After a lower body, or anything that squash your spine, even just standing or sitting all day, it's good to do a little bit of decompression. Now, this is a pretty extreme decompression upside down, and it's not for everyone, or at least not right from the get-go. But after every training, just decompressing a bit your spine will help you relax more when you're done, to settle back down, not stay excited and tensed by all the physical training. And it will also help reboost the intervertebral disc recovery, since I've been squashed up and they need to get back to squish up and get some volume back. And it also decreases the risk of injuries, because that's how you pinch a disc by letting it too squashed. It also, you can herniate the disc when the nucleus is way too pressured and can slip back most often in the back, but it can be in every direction, technically speaking. So there you go. And now I'm going to sleep. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.